Okay, let's sort of focus on the science side of things here. Dr. Marla Shapiro joining me now, CTV News medical contributor. Dr. Marla, great to have you. And I know a lot of questions now swirling around in your head to say, okay, here, how are we going to manage this? And Canadians listening right now to say, if I'm traveling, let's say in the next couple of weeks, what does this mean? Or even within a week. So your take here, let's first start with the vaccine mandate side of it. We know for domestic travel on planes, trains, airlines as well, planes as well, that is ending in the next little bit. Your take on that, is that a right move?
Well, I think at this time, the Canadian government and the Canadian people were ready for this change. We're learning that we have to know how to navigate this and continue to navigate this as we move forward. Numbers are down. It's very reassuring. What's most reassuring is the fact that the lethality of this disease really is nowhere near where it was at the beginning. We've got a highly vaccinated population. We've had, the herd effect of many people either having the disease or getting vaccinated. And now there's this appetite to say, let's learn how to move forward with this and let's take away these mandates.
What was also announced, and this was announced last week, was the removal of the testing requirements, and that will stay in place until the end of the month, and then it will go off-site. Your take on that, because one of the big arguments is the contact tracing to ensure that, of course, if there is any kind of a spread, an outbreak or whatnot, we know where it's coming from.
So, if we look at what's happening now, we're seeing both vaccinated people and unvaccinated people get COVID or get reinfected with COVID. And really now it's left to you as an individual, because what we do know is for those that are vaccinated and boosted, generally the course of the disease is much milder than if you haven't been vaccinated. And overall, the trend towards Omicron was that it was more infectious, but again, less lethal. So I think we're going to treat this very much like endemic flu and see what happens. We have to keep a vigilant eye, watch the wastewaters. That always gives us an idea of the uptick. Watch what's happening in our hospitals. Is there an increase in admission? But I think at this point, as an individual, you have to say to yourself, what can I do to best protect myself? In my mind, it's being vaccinated and boosted. If you want to continue to wear a mask, that's an elective choice in those high-risk situations, be it public transport or on a plane, whether it's local travel within our own country, or travel internationally. But I think at this point, we all have a lot of information as what we can do to protect ourselves. And now it's time for us as individuals to make the right decisions for us, and the government is stepping aside saying, looking at the trends, what's happened with this disease, this is as good a time as ever as we've had to lift these mandates and let the Canadian population move forward.
How important do you think the messaging needs to be in all of this as we continue to follow? We know things could potentially change in the fall. We know that they're keeping a close eye on variants, but the messaging and the optics of all of it. We know, unfortunately, the Prime Minister has tested positive once again. This is his second positive test for COVID. He has had his 3 doses of the vaccine. He said that and said, well, I'm thankful that I've had my doses. You should go get vaccinated as well. But still, he ended up getting COVID, hopefully not as sick had he not been vaccinated. And then there's the messaging around masking. We saw the Prime Minister wearing a mask, not wearing a mask, and it was inconsistent. As things shift around and we may need to bring back perhaps some restrictions, some elements, some measures, how important is the messaging for Canadians as they're trying to follow through all of this, not get confused or frustrated, but understand the process?
The single most important thing is clear messaging and not muddled messaging. Remember that the role of adult vaccination is not necessarily to mean that you never get the disease, but to attenuate the disease process. And we've seen that our vaccines do exactly that. You may get COVID, you may get it more than once as variants change, but the course of the illness is generally milder without the long risk of COVID, not aborted completely, but really much, less if you've had those vaccines. And the idea of lethality, admission, ICUs, all of those really attenuated. So the vaccines are doing what the vaccines need to do. And I think we're going to see ongoing vaccination strategies. I think we all agree that COVID is with us in some endemic way. We'll have to watch the waves and see when is it time to have generalized public health measures and when is it time to rely on your own judgment in terms of everything that you've learned. The Canadian public knows about distancing, washing their hands, and will decide if they need to mask in certain situations. But the messaging needs to be clear, not necessarily mandated. We need to understand what we each agree is our personal risk and how we move forward.
Dr. Marla, great to have you as always. Dr. Marla Shapiro, CTV News medical contributor. Thanks again for this.